Welcome everybody to the best replays of the week, where we showcase the best replays from this past week. This game was played by the user Isental. Sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation of your name. He's driving the STA-1 on an assault battle on Siegfried Line. He's playing defense. STA-1 is a tier 8 medium tank for the Japanese. Great tank as well, got fantastic gun depression. So the area that Isental is going to is pretty much made for this tank. Can poke just over the top, get some great shots on the enemy tanks as they come in, which other tanks would not be able to do with their lack of gun depression. It's a great shot onto the Centurion 1. He's in a great position here. Nobody can really get hits onto him, where he can pop out and do damage back whenever he likes. Got a great shot onto the Centurion 1, and the VK30-01 doesn't quite penetrate the turret of the Centurion 1 here, but he is going to continue dueling. Just got to be aware that there is a Jagdpanther on his left-hand side, but I think if he's going to pop over the top enough to hit Isental, he's going to open himself up to the guns of the enemy. Just about missed the Centurion 1 there, a little bit unfortunate. Centurion 1 backs straight away. He knows his gun's not loaded, so he can take that one risk-free. Centurion 1's taking a few hits now, but he is looking in this direction. Gonna pop over the top to try and find him. He is a little bit further forward than he expected, but he was able to take out his track. Centurion 1 doing the smart thing of just repairing that track and getting away. Not quite able to land a shot through the top of the turret there. Playing with inches rather than meters here. That shot does go through though, and that's a beautiful hit. Just taking a quick look to see where that Jagdpanther is. Centurion 1 trying to get away, or maybe trying to go for the softer target of that 3601. Unfortunately, all he's done is opened up his rear and side armor to Isental as he takes him out, and he becomes kill number 1. Now going to look towards this Jagdpanther, who is looking in this direction, but the superb gun depression of the STA-1 allows him to get that shot when normal tanks would not be able to. That's another hit, and that's another kill. There is now this 3001 that he has the full rear armor of, and what a quick 3 kills now for Isental. Although the game is all even at 4 kills to 4. Now focusing on this IS. Was going to come forward, but looks like the IS is just caught out in the open. He doesn't need to play as safely as he thought he did. Going to come up and see if he can get the last hit. He can. That's kill number 4. He's being a one-man wrecking machine at the moment. Their team has 5 kills and 4 of them go to him. That is the north pretty much all sewn up and dealt with. Going to come down now to the middle of the map. Going to try and get a hit onto this Tiger 1, but the Tiger 1's playing, well, I was going to say he's playing pretty cagey, and that was a little bit of a mistake from the Tiger 1. Gets a hit, but he's still out in the open. He can probably get away in time. Nope, not quite. Isental just says, nope, I'm taking a shot. Gets another damaging hit, but now he's got the juicy target of the rear of a T-28. You can see he's playing very smart here though. He's popping out when his reload is ready, getting a hit on the T-28, and then having a little look towards the Tiger 1 to see if he's coming in, which he's not. Going to get the last shot on the Tiger 1. The on the T-28. Tiger 1 decides to come in now. I think the Tiger 1 thinks that he can out DPM the STA-1, which is a little bit of a mistake. You see him angling his armor, attempting not to take any damage, but it's not going to be enough. Isental goes by him. The slow turret traverse of the Tiger 1 just letting him down just a little bit. He gets taken out. He is now seeing that there's an SP-1C flying around the corner. I think he's taken a little bit by surprise. He almost flips himself over, although he is probably fully loaded. That one just bounces, which is a great bit of luck from Isental. Third one doesn't. He gets 2 damaging hits on him, but he's stuck out now. He gets taken out by the 3601, and now it's time to move on to the south of the map. Allies are winning 10 kills to 6 in no small part thanks to Isental himself, with 6 of them. It's a great shot through the side of this Mod 1. If this Mod 1 doesn't decide to run very, very quickly, he's going to be in trouble. Not quite able to find a shot. There it goes through the pillars into the underplate of the T-54 Mod 1. This 54 Mod 1 hasn't run nearly far enough. Does take a hit, gets his engine taken out, but uses his repair kit to just fix that one up. Thinks he's got the reload on the 54 Mod 1. Unfortunately, there is the corpse of a Tiger 2 in the way, and he wasn't able to get the last shot. A little bit unfortunate there. Just keeping his gun auto-aimed on the Mod 1 there. Thinking that he might try and flank all the way around. As that Tiger 2 comes in, Isental's got to be careful now, as he is a one-shot And there we go, the Mod 1 was there. He was able to come all the way out before being spotted. Luckily, his shot bounced and Eisenthal's was straight and true. Took him out for kill number 7. Now he's going to try and get the rear of this Tiger 2. Got to play it carefully, though, because there is fire coming in from his right-hand side, and he does only have 260 hit points left, and the fire looks like it was coming from that T-37. Luckily for him, he can take more than one shot from a T-37, as the T-37 doesn't have the best alpha. ISU 152 trying to charge down this E25, but I think he's decided just screw the E25. I'm coming charging forward, and he gets taken out for his trouble. I'm not really sure what he was playing at there. I think the E25 just managed to jink around him, and the ISU was just like, screw this. I'm going for the STA1 instead. And that proved to be his downfall. Now going to maybe try and get a hit on this Tiger 2. He's racked up a huge amount of damage so far. I'm going to see if he can farm some more, but it looks like the biggest threat at the moment is this T-37. Has a shot, but that one was just a little bit inaccurate there. The Tiger 2's not really going anywhere. Just going to leave him to his own devices for now. This game's actually starting to slip away from the Allies. It's 13 kills to 11, but one of those is a Lorraine. There we go. Gets a hit finally on the T-37, but the T-37 takes out the 30-01. And then he runs to the hills. Tiger 2 still secure in the city. And the E25 got himself taken out as well. So this one is all even now at 13 kills to 13. Eisenthal doesn't really want to duel with a T-37. He can bounce some shots. He's angled his armor just a little bit too much here. Although that one did miss, so the angling didn't matter in the end. T-37 being smart, backing away. Whereabouts is he going to pop up again? I think he just wants his camo to kick back in. The problem with that is that Eisenthal's ammo will also kick back in. Bounces a lucky shot on his rear. Does take a hit now. He's got to be very careful. Can't afford to take any more shots. Well, he definitely can't now with 27 hit points. I think he made a huge mistake there. But he couldn't really duel one-on-one straight up with the T-37. He needed to get into a position where he had cover, as he was trying to duel out in the open. T-37 taking cover behind the pillbox now. Looks like the Lorraine has been taken out by the Tiger 2 now. Going to try and get the shot on the T-37. He gets the hit. That's the kill. Where's the Tiger 2, though? There he is there. Can he reload? Tiger 2 fluffs his shot. Can he get it? Not quite, but he should reload again before the Tiger 2 does, unless the Tiger 2's got the stock gun. I can't believe the Tiger 2 whiffed his shot. That could possibly cost them the game. The two of them just playing around this wall here. It's going to come down to who makes the first mistake. He is spotted. Really, the Tiger 2 just needs to hold on for 2 minutes. But no, he's coming charging in. He gets hit. He gets taken out. And that is the kill. And that is the win. Awesome game played there by Eisenthal. Picking himself up 9 kills. A whole bunch of damage. And really being a one-man wrecking machine for his team there. And like I was in the middle of saying before, the Tiger 2 committed the biggest mistake of his life. If he'd just fallen back into the city and survived, he may have been able to draw the game out past 2 minutes and pick up the win for his team. But as it is, he just thought no guts, no glory, charged in and got himself taken out. It's an awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for being so good with this tank. That is the end of best replays of the week. I will catch you guys next week for more. Welcome everybody to World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name is Maxwell and today's first video is from the user SWS Mr. Ordnance. That is Mr. Ordnance, and he's driving the Leopard 1 on a standard battle on Sand River. Leopard 1 being a tier 10 medium tank for the Germans. So today we're going to have a couple of high-tiered medium tank replays for you, or showcasing excellent positional play and positional awareness. As you can see, Mr. Ordnance getting into position here to overlook the approach of the enemy tank. Spots out a Pershing, gets a great hit on him. He continues to move. He does get spotted, but it looks like nobody's really able to take a shot back at him. Does get his reload just in time to hit the T-54E1, so that was a lovely shot as well. Gets a little bit of damage onto both early medium tanks there. You can see getting into a great position. Knows for a fact that there's going to be some enemy tanks pushing up that location. Doesn't push his luck. Takes 2 shots, gets 2 damaging hits, and then decides to relocate. Already put the enemy team at a disadvantage, both of their medium tanks being one lot of hit points down. Now he's going to relocate to the northern section of the map, where the Allies have positioned quite a lot of medium and heavy tanks going up the hill there. Mr. Ordnance not electing to follow up the mountain. They're going to stay in a lower position here, offer some fire support to the guys on the mountain. And this T-54E1 does see a Ferdinand who's a little bit out of position. He's quite far forward. He starts to back off, takes a great snapshot at that Ferdinand to get some damage onto him. He's trying to drop back without taking any damage from the fall. Is able to get away now, but he pushed way too far forward on his own there, and he got punished hard for that. Mr. Ordnance now trying to get into position to get a shot on somebody, but it looks like pretty much everybody is hidden by the terrain there, so going to climb up the right-hand side maybe. Nope, going to reposition further back. He did get spotted, so he's probably just wanting to drop back into the fog of war, allow his camo to kick back in. And he's going to take back to the sand dune on the left-hand side here. Going to see if he can use the elevated ground to get a shot on someone. Just having a look towards the mountain there, just in case. Is able to see a Tiger 2. Gets a great hit through the front of his turret there. Looks like someone has returned fire. Finds a Foch 155, but decides to shoot at the pattern in the background. Much softer target, had lower hit points as well, and if you can get that guy out of the battle, that would be a great step forward. Doesn't have any other targets, so going to fire at the weak spot of the Foch. Takes his time to make sure that his gun aims well on the weak spot there. Knows that he's got the time. That Foch not really going anywhere except when he takes his second shot. Foch deciding to move right at that moment there, and his shot just missed. Reloads his cannon, takes another great shot at the Tiger 2 there for another bit of damage. Somehow managed to bounce a shot from the Tiger 2. Leopard 1 not known for its great armor. Probably bounced that one just above the gun mantlet there it was. So possibly hit the gun mantlet. Looks like the fight is pretty even in the north there. Allies winning quite a bit at the moment. But the enemy team, if they keep pressing their luck, they may be able to overwhelm the guys in the north. But it looks like the Allies have them kind of penned in here. The guys from the hill are laying fire down on them. And Mr. Ordnance and the T-54E1, who's now turned tail and ran, were pressuring them nicely from the south. Going to try and focus in on the pattern's top of his turret there. Just about missed that one. It was a bit of a long shot to try and land a hit right on the top of the turret. Waits till his gun's reloaded, moves forward again, has to take that one quickly because the M48 pattern was pre-aimed on the location. Looks like the pattern's wanting to duel this one out. Takes a shot and just about misses that one. I'm not sure if the pattern had his shot or not. I think Mr. Ordnance thinks he did, but he may not have. Fires another great one, takes some damage himself, but gets a lovely bit of damage back on the pattern. And I'm not sure if the pattern should pop out again. He's thinking about it. For some reason, he's wanting to come out and duel. Has a snapshot and misses wildly. Luckily for the pattern, Mr. Ordnance also missed that shot. Both of them just snapshotting each other all day long. Takes a hit right in the gun from the pattern there. Mr. Ordnance is having none of that. Just repairs his gun. This M48 pattern is kind of caught in a really bad situation here. He can't really sit there and do nothing because the guys from the north will close in on him eventually. And he can't really sit and duel with Mr. Ordnance because that is a fight that he's going to lose. Although Mr. Ordnance doesn't want to waste too much time playing peekaboo with this M48 pattern. Decides to leave it to his allies, and he's going to flank around the side here. Try and get some hits on this T-54E1 and possibly the T-34. That looks like he's going to pay some attention to the southern flank. Just got to be careful he doesn't get shot in the rear by those other tanks. Did spot out a Rheinmetall and another Leopard 1 here. Going to wait for somebody to present themselves as a target. There's the Leopard 1. Going to wait for his gun to focus in. Has a nice leading shot and gets a great bit of damage on the enemy Leopard 1 there. Leopard 1 looks like he has been tracked, and that's going to be curtains for him. Looks like the Rheinmetall is out of line of fire right now, so he's going to try and get a little bit higher. Still got to be aware, though, there is a T-54E1 and a T-34. T-34 looks like he's pushing up towards the north onto the T-57 Heavy and M46 pattern. It's not really going to be a duel that he's going to be able to win, but I guess he's kind of trapped in a pincer move at the moment. Doesn't really want to remain there. Doing all that he can to try and get away. Going to allow the two T-54E1s to face off against each other. The M46 pattern from earlier, sorry, the M48 pattern from earlier shows his face, and he gets taken out by a beautiful shot. Now going to try and flank around the side of this T-54E1. Allied says he's got 26 seconds left on reload, but Mr. Ordnance isn't going to wait for this one. Gets a great bit of damage. T-54E1 comes charging forward, but Mr. Ordnance is able to stay behind cover the entire time of his approach, which is great. Doesn't quite have the gun depression. Takes one hit. T-54E1 comes forward a little bit more, but looks like he's just threatening, not actually going to make a move. Comes forward, gets a lovely shot, takes him out, and that's kill number 2. So it's a low killing game, but quite a decent damage score at the moment of 4,500. Enemy does still have 4 tanks remaining. That T-54, sorry, the T-34 from earlier has now managed to push all the way up that northern road there. I'm not sure if he was able to take out the T-57 Heavy or whether he was aided by his friendly artillery, as he is now pushing down on the M46 pattern. Feeling pretty confident at the moment. Mr. Ordnance just going to leave that T-34 to the M46 pattern. Maybe go hunting some of the other guys. Just have a Jagdpanzer E100, that T-34, one piece of artillery in the Panzer. And he's just going to advance forward a little bit. Does get spotted out here. Finds the Panzer Soufflé. Going to try and get a lovely shot on him for 100% of his hit points. Gets a nice roll there to take him out. Now he's going to move forward and try and take out this T-34. He's been alive altogether too long and caused altogether too much trouble. As you can see, he also takes out the M46 pattern. So now Mr. Ordnance going to have to play this one carefully, although he is a tier 10 tank. Doesn't have any armor. Has about the same hit points as the T-34. Does have a much faster reload, so he should be able to get another shot onto him, no problem whatsoever, and that one is able to take him out, and that's kill number 4. So playing that one fantastically to his advantage, knew that he could take at least one shot from that T-34, and he would have the reload to be able to fire 2 in return and take him out, and that just leaves the Jagdpanzer E100 left on the enemy team. And the Allies are going to close in like vultures on a carcass. Going to try and pick him clean of his hit points before he goes the distance back to garage. Can Mr. Ordnance get the final bit of damage onto him? Well, it won't be enough to take him out. Leaves him with 109 hit points. And someone else is going to claim the kill. But it's not like he was on a Top Gun medal or anything. Gets himself 4 kills. Pretty much 6,000 points of damage, and playing an absolutely excellent, superb game in the Leopard 1 there. Showing superior positioning, positional play, and just being aware of the map at all times and knowing exactly where he was needed to be at what time. The only criticism I may give is that he probably should have taken that T-34 out earlier, but to be honest, the M46 pattern and that T-57 really should have been able to deal with that T-34 on their own, so it's really their own fault that they got taken out by that guy. So, absolutely excellent replay there from SWS Mr. Ordnance. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And don't forget to stick around, because as always, there is another game coming right up. And our second replay is from the user DOTX. That is DOTX, and he's driving the FV4202 on a standard battle on Malinovka. FV4202 being the tier 10 medium tank for the British. So this thing gets a little bit of a bad rap, being that it is probably one of the weakest tier 10 medium tanks, but in skilled hands they can get past the weaknesses and use its strengths, which is a pretty decent cannon with a good firing speed, although not quite as good as the Russians. It's pretty much just an all-round jack of all trades, this tank, which tends to be the case with a lot of the British mediums. Straight away, DOTX going to be heading to the bushes here. Not electing to go to the hill. As you can see, most of the allied team haven't actually moved out of base. Only himself, his platoon mate, and that IS-7 have made him, on the AMX 1390 Scout, have made a move. Everybody else sitting in base, trying to defend against the early push from the T-62A. DOT going to be tracking this Tiger 2 here. It takes a little bit of damage from somebody. Not really sure who would cause 86 damage. He was sitting in this bush for a little while, trying to keep some eyes on people. Does find a T-32 who's deciding to just full YOLO push against this AMX 1390. Unfortunately, DOT missed his first shot. His platoon mate landed his, though. And this T-32 was in all kinds of trouble now. He's decided, like I said, to just go full YOLO against this AMX 1390. And he doesn't have the maneuverability to be able to duel with him. And the 1390 just trolls him completely. And he gets taken out now. Lost a Tier 8 medium for trying to push down on the AMX 1390 there. And that is almost always a mistake. Although I can see his point of view that he wants to get rid of the Scout as he is in a dangerous position. But just giving up your life for not even getting a single point of damage on the Scout is definitely not worth it. Switching attention now to the top of the hill as an AMX 5100 making a move up there. And I think DOTX and his platoon mate realise that somebody is going to have to take to the hill now. And it looks like it's going to have to be them. The IS-7 has either only reached that position or has stopped. I think he's actually stopped right now. Gets a lovely hit on the 5100. And his platoon mate takes him out now. And I'm a little bit surprised that more people haven't been spotted on the hill, or at least try to push down on the other side here. Maybe the enemy team doing exactly the same thing as the allied team and just all sitting in base here. Although it does look like with 2 mediums and that IS-7, they are going to be able to win the hill. Unless they crest it here, there's 10 tanks. That might be a little bit of a problem. So far, so good. It's looking fairly clear up on the hill. There's a little bit of a rare case where nobody really pushes for the hill. Just going to sit here just in case there are some slower tanks bringing up the rear. And that T-62 is still alive in the south of the map there. Very surprising that he survived this long. Just having a quick look to see if we can spot somebody. Looks like there is literally no enemy tanks on the hill. The only person who went hill was that AMX 5100, who probably shouldn't have been there by himself. And you saw why, because he gets himself taken out almost immediately. Now the 2 FVs going to push down the other side with the backup of the IS-7. Finds the Tiger 2 here. Looks like he's taken 1 or 2 hits and then decided to retreat to the furthest point on the map that he possibly can. And the FE is going to try and get eyes on him, but he's deep within the forest now. Moving forward at a slow pace, doesn't really want to get spotted. And doesn't spot out the Tiger 2, but finds a Batchat. Medium tank sat all the way at the back here, and I'm just confused now as to why the Batchat would be camping in A3. It's not like he can get shots on the hill really from there, and it's not like he can shoot the allied base from that position either. I just no idea. I mean, they're in a platoon as well. 2 Batchats on that T-62A, so I have no idea why that Batchat will be in that position rather than offering some support to his ally who's putting his life on the line in K3 at the moment. But as it is, the AMX 1390 and that Tiger 2 pushing up through the swamp have got eyes on almost all of the defenders here. And the FVs are just going to lay fire down onto the people in the base there. Somehow gets a ricochet on that Tiger 1. But this is just going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. It's just going to be free damage all day long. Does find the IS-4 here as well. He's got a little bit cover from the corpse of that Tiger 1 there. But still going to be able to sneak a lovely bit of damage through his side armor. Just going to continue to fire down onto him unless he decides to stay firmly rooted behind the Tiger 1. Looks like he is. Bounced a shot there. A little bit of a speculative shot. And although they've got the enemy team penned in, pretty heavily in their base. This game's still all even at 6 kills to 6. It's by no means a foregone conclusion, especially with that Bat Chat camping in A2 at the moment. Again, I'm just flabbergasted as to why that Bat Chat would be there. Finds the Tiger 2 from earlier, but he is behind cover. Now going to see if we can get a little bit more damage on this IS-4. Got to let his gun focus in a little bit longer than he did just there, as that one just about misses. He could only see a tiny bit of that IS-4. Can see a lot more of the Rheinmetall here, though, as he makes a move. He's taking fire from left, right, and centre. He's taken 1 hit point worth of damage there. Maybe that was a little bit of splash from the artillery. Looks like the enemy has now overwhelmed the allied base. Looks like at least one of those Bat Chats went with the T-62A. Got a great shot on the side of the Tiger 2 here. Gets a great high roll of the damage on the Tiger 2. Takes a shot in return, but that one went wildly to the side. He's able to take out the Tiger 2 for his first kill now of the match at almost 4,000 damage. Now he's going to try and press down on this Rheinmetall. Hopefully the Rheinmetall is focusing on someone else. As you can see, the FV got fantastic gun depression. He's switched across now to high explosive rounds. Actually, it looks like he switched across to Hesh for some reason. To be honest, he's probably just best off with high explosive. Going to try and get a shot through the side of the Tiger P there. Does get some damage. Looks like he's taking shots now, probably from the Bat Chat, as those shots are coming in thick and fast now. Looks like the Bat Chat has decided to stop firing. AMX 1390 going in there to try and find him, try and flush him out. DOTX has been spotted, and there is the Bat Chat, and like I said, still just confused as to why he's there. Gets a great bit of damage onto him. Now he's switched across to standard high explosive rounds. He's going to try and push down onto the IS-4. Probably going to have to switch back to something except high explosive. The IS-4 is fantastically well armoured. Gets some damage through just above the track there, underneath the thick side armour. That's another good bit of damage. He's going to back off now. That one just bounces off the side. I'm not sure if that did any damage or not. That one did, and that's kill number 3. And they've just dismantled this enemy team so far, getting into their base and just picking them apart from range. And just a strange placement of the enemy tanks. Looks like one Bat Chat has come back to try and defend the base. Missed that one, unfortunately. Looks like the Bat Chat is going to suicide himself just to take out this AMX 1390, which is a little bit of a mistake. DOTX just missed 2 shots in a row on this Bat Chat, so he may get away scot-free with this one. Hopefully he will be reloading. Misses his 3rd shot as well because it's on the move. Now he's going to concentrate a little bit more on the driving rather than the shooting. Going to try and get in behind this Bat Chat. I think by now he's almost certainly reloading, as he hasn't moved in for the kill just yet. Isn't even traversing his gun onto target, this Bat Chat, so that when his gun is loaded, he'll be able to fire on the FV. Looks like he's just content to run around and have his gun pointed in completely the wrong direction, and that's why he's been taken out, and that's kill number 4. Got to reposition and take a breather now, because like I said, the game is all square at 12 kills to 12. By no means a foregone conclusion. Bounces a shot on the Jagdpanzer E100. Got to be very careful here, as this Jagdpanzer could do significant damage. As it is, he only did tracking damage. Going to get 1 good shot through his low plate. He's probably going to get at least another 2 shots before this Jagdpanzer E100 reloads. But to be honest, even when the Jagdpanzer E100 does reload, he's going to be able to have the hit points to take a shot. And the Jagdpanzer comes in for the ram. And he really should have just sat at range, because there's no way he's going to be able to outmaneuver an FV. And as it is, he decides to go for the water and possibly try and drown himself. Unfortunately for him, the water is nowhere near deep enough, and he's just going to get whittled down now. Can't even drown himself properly. 1 more shot. And that's kill number 5. And for a game that was all square 30 seconds ago, the Jagdpanzer E100 fairly successfully managed to throw that one away. The platoon takes out the last remaining tank, and that is 5 kills apiece for the 2 FV-4202s. So absolutely awesome replay there from DOTX, picking himself up 5 kills, almost 9,000 points of damage, and having an absolutely excellent, outstanding game, outplaying the enemy, outmaneuvering the enemy tanks, and really taking advantage of the weaknesses and strange positioning of the enemy there to just dismantle the bomb and pick up the win on that one. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the WoT Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just enjoyed it, then think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks Replays, and I will catch you guys next time. Welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user A Mudbone. That's A Mudbone, and he's driving the Tiger 2 on a standard battle on Windstorm. Tiger 2 being a tier 8 heavy tank for the Germans, and Windstorm being the newest map that was added in the latest patch, this one being the European city style winter map. So this is a tier 9 game, but it's mostly tier 8 tanks all the way down, as you can see. So this one's going to be a nice close game, even though XVM does say that it favours the enemy team ever so slightly based on people's win records. But as we all know, XVM shouldn't be taken as gospel and isn't always 100% accurate or true. So it looks like Mudbone going to be heading over to this area here and try and get into a side-scraping position. With the narrow little streets here, indestructible buildings and large open spaces to fire at one another and face off, this map offers some great opportunities for heavies to do some side-scraping. As you can see, somebody already having a shot. Spots out a KV-4 here, going to have a return shot at him. Not quite able to do any damage to him. And then again, the KV-4 himself isn't able to do any damage back. As you can see, normally, when they're in a very good side-scraping position, even if the enemy team can see a little bit of the front of the armor, all they're able to do is just hit that drive wheel at the front and take the track off. As you can see, that's happened a couple of times now. And that just keeps them pinned down in position. As you can see, people only able to do damage and remove his tracks, not able to get any hit point damage on him. Although Mudbone not able to get any damage back until he hits that KV-4 there. T-34-3 did decide to move forward, but not as far forward as this T-34. No idea why he's pushed so far so quickly into the Allied territory here. Mudbone going across a deal with it, but just wanting to check down the right hand side to see if anybody's going to have a shot at him. But it looks like the advancing IS-3 is going to draw people's attention. Anybody who did want to fire at him will probably have to go through the IS-3 first. T-34 still pushing in, Mudbone getting good consistent damage onto him, and he gets taken out in the end by that IS-3. So I'm not really sure why that T-34 pushed so far so fast and was just left isolated from his own team there, and the Allied team just closed in around him and took him out from front and rear. But now, as you can see, the Allied team has used the opportunity to push forward over the river and take the fight to the enemy side of the map. They've got them penned in here. They've only got this T-34 in the background by the looks of it to stop a full-blown flanking maneuver from happening. Mudbone going to push forward past this IS-3. A little bit unfortunate to only get damage on the Panther 2's tracks. Going to try and ram him here. Take his tracks out again, and hopefully this IS-3 can come and offer some support. Looks like the IS-3 wasn't able to get around the corner in time, but it doesn't matter. Mudbone's able to get good damage through the weak spot at the front of the Panther 2. And I don't think this Panther 2 realizes where he was going as he gets pushed right off the river, or right off the bank and into the river there, not really aware of his surroundings, and Mudbone picks up a huge chunk of damage, about 675 there for the fall, and then picks up the kill as he was the last one to hurt him as he fell into the river there. So excellent piece of situational awareness from Mudbone there, realizing that the Panther 2 didn't really know whereabouts he was, and he gets taken out and pushed into the river. And then he's able to duel this T-34 down, not before taking a little bit of damage himself. So he's going to have to play a little bit more cautiously with That's 700 of his hit points missing, although he was able to take out the T-34 in the end. Now he's trying to hold this left-hand side of the flanking maneuver while his allies push forward, that E-50, and I think there's a Super Pershing just behind it. Yes, indeed there is. So now they've executed a textbook flanking maneuver here, the IS-6 and that other Tiger II, holding the front of the enemy team, and these allies here, the two mediums and Mudbourne himself, flanking around the sides. Just keeping an eye on that FCM, as he doesn't want to take damage from him. In the end, he did have to take some damage from him in order to land a shot on that KV-4. We're just going to keep an eye on him and make sure that he doesn't get another free shot just like he did there. As he pops forward, he's able to get a good hit on him, and the IS-6 is able to take him out in the end. And now the Vultures descend on the carcasses of their foes, and there's just this Tiger II left. Going to see who can pick up the kill on this one. Could it be Mudbourne? Yes, indeed it is. And he picks up a well-deserved kill, number 3, for that early positional play. And the team just operating an excellent flanking and net maneuver there, just holding the attention of the enemy from the front while the other tanks flanked around from the side and just closed that net in, and were able to take them out pretty damn quickly. So that just leaves the artillery, a Super Pershing, and that Jagdtiger 88 left on the enemy team now. Looks like the 88 and this Super Pershing are on this left-hand side of the map, and Mudbourne going to be transitioning across to try and see if he can get some damage on them. This Super Pershing still on full hit points, and with the troll armor of this thing at tier 8, he could indeed do some work if he plays his cards right. Not quite able to get a shot through that small stone wall onto him. It looks like just hitting the dirt instead. Not able to pick out specific parts of the tank. Just can't quite see them there because of that wall. Going to be heading up the hill now and trying to close him down a little bit. Although Mudbourne just playing this one slow and carefully and waiting for the rest of his team to turn up. As it is, he exposed his side armor to Mudbourne there, but he wasn't able to get any damage on him as that shot just falls a little bit short. Has presented front armor now, but he had to turn his turret to the side to square off against that E50, and Mudbourne was able to get some damage through the side of the turret. Now he's got his weak spot, so he should be able to just put consistent damage onto this Super Pershing, and indeed he is, and he's able to pick up kill number 4. Now they've just got to try and find this Jagdtiger 88, who was last spotted just in front. There he is there, trying in vain to come to the aid of the Super Pershing there, but not quite having the speed to be able to get there in time. A valiant effort, but unfortunately for naught, as the Jagdtiger wasn't able to crest to the top of the hill in time. If the Super Pershing had fallen back, then maybe the Jagdtiger would have been able to help, but as it is, that is GG and the victory. So absolutely brilliant replay there from A. Mudbourne, picking himself up almost 4,000 points of damage and 4 kills. So thank you very much for sending that replay in, and don't forget, as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Kill Engage. That's Kill Engage, and he's driving the T-62A on his standard battle on the mountain pass. T-62A being a tier 10 medium tank for the Russians. This thing is a bit of a beast. It's got decent armor, a decent gun, it's a good all-rounder, good speed, mobility and agility. And almost every time I've seen one of these in battle, they've always done some work. So pretty damn good all-round tank. Doing what he should be doing as well, heading over to this left-hand flank. The two allied Batchats going to be taking up a sniping position up on the high ground there. Kill Engage just having a little bit of a look across the valley there, almost crashing into a rock, but not quite, so that's good. Oh, and it looks like the allied Batchats have been outflanked here by the enemy Batchats. Unfortunately for the enemy Batchats, the allies do have support. Taking a shot in the rear from an ally there. It looks like it was actually by his platoon mate, so it looks like the enemy team is executing a medium tank bum rush here. So the Allies got to be careful. I was saying that the enemy Batchats didn't have any support, but it looks like the Object 140 and the E50M and that T62A turn up pretty damn quickly to offer some support. And an Object 263 using his superior speed in order to get up on that hill. Unfortunately for him, he's probably going to be in trouble if he doesn't leave pretty sharpish. So the enemy team doing a very, very good job of getting into this advanced position quickly enough. As you saw, the enemy Batchats led the spearhead and then created the distraction while the rest of the medium tanks turned up. This T-57 Heavy is in a little bit of trouble. In fact, the whole team's in a little bit of trouble here as these medium tanks are just holding this position. The rest of the team still faring a little bit better, although they are all kind of just arrayed behind Kill Engage here, who's not wanting to push out too far as he doesn't want to get hammered down by the rest of those medium tanks that are all just kind of sat there. At the end of the day, though, this stalemate kind of favours the enemy team as most of the Allies are here, and the enemy has that northern flank totally exposed. So the longer they can hold the Allies here in inactivity, the better it is for the enemy team. Looks like the T-62A fired, so we're going to poke out and get a good shot on him. Just one more hit should be enough to take him out. And there we go, that is kill number 1. That leaves this Object and the E50M here. Excellent little shot there on the Object 140. So just at a very, very sharp angle with the front armor there, trying to lure the enemy tanks into having a terrible shot at the front of his armor. Gotta win this one a little bit quicker though. As you can see, an Object 268 has appeared in the center there from the northern flank, so you just know that the enemy team is going to be pushing from that flank. And Kill Engage decided to do the smart thing of just leaving and deciding to flank around the sides of them. So we're going to be heading all the way around the north of this little outcropping. There's already a T-69 here, so I'm not too sure why he hasn't already been doing some work. He is on low hit points and he may be reloading that cannon, so Kill Engage is just going to come and relieve him of his position, and in fact going to take an even further advanced position using the speed of his tank to his advantage. Oh, takes a hit there from the E50M, gets his track taken off, but as it is, he's left in a fantastic shot to fantastic position to return fire. Seeing this, the IS-7 and the E-75 push forward, and the two medium tanks are forced to bail out down into the ravine there, which they also hold. So the score is pretty even at 8 kills to 8, but I would say the enemy team definitely has the better of this one, considering they have control over more of the map than the Allied team has here. Object 140 climbing the hill. He's still on a good amount of hit points here. Kill Engage able to get a good hit on him. Takes out his track and sets him on fire, but it looks like he's packing an automatic fire extinguisher, which for a tier 10 isn't an unheard of thing, and it's not something I'll give somebody grief over. If you're packing maybe a tier 3 with an automatic fire extinguisher, then you're doing something wrong. Kill Engage making a move and just taking a shot in the rear from that Object 140 for his trouble. Just thinking about flanking around and going over that bridge now, but with the position of the enemy medium tanks, he's going to have to sit here for the time being at least. Has got eyes on these two mediums, so hopefully the artillery should be coming in any moment now. Does have to be careful though, as the enemy team also has 2 artillery pieces. But then this IS-7 executes an excellent rear guard action, and it comes around behind those 2 medium tanks, who then decide to turn around and switch their attention onto that IS-7, who's able to take out the Object 140, and Kill Engage should be able to get this E50. Indeed he is. I was going to say he has to be careful because there is a Death Star down the ravine a little bit, but it looks like that E-75 doing good work there and taking him out. As it is though, the enemy artillery already taken out the IS-7. And the score is a little bit more in the favour of the Allies here at 11 kills to 9. An enemy Waffenträger E100 pushing in on the base. He is obviously going to be fully loaded, so going to have to play this one carefully, as he's definitely going to have the firepower to be able to take Kill Engage from
100 to 0 in one clip. As you see, Kill Engage switching to HE rounds. Going to try and put some high explosive rounds through the thin turret armor of the Waffenträger and get maximum damage on him. As you see there, gets 444 points of damage, which is an excellent amount of damage from this thing. In fact, what is the average roll of that? It looks like it's 420, so that was a decent roll. Gets another good one for another 450. This T92 just cowering in the background here. He's going to have to be careful, because if he gets spotted, it's curtains for him. And as it is, Kill Engage is able to take out the Waffenträger, but he does get his tracks removed by the Object 261. Looks like the E100, the GW E100, also reins in the fire for good measure, but not quite able to take him out in the end. Now it's time to switch the attention to go artillery hunting and take out this T110E4, who was last spotted up on the ridge doing a little bit of defensive maneuvers here. Just going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action. Kill Engage going to be taking the long route around. Does find the GW E100. Gets a solid hit onto him. E100 fires. Not sure if he was firing at Kill Engage here, because that one just went way wide. Going to see if he can finally land the last shot. Not quite. That one just skimming over the top of his roof as he backs off into safety. Deciding not to climb up the top of the hill this time, as he's going to flank all the way around, because that E100 is going to be waiting for him with gun trained on target. Still got to be careful of this T110E4 that was last spotted up on that hill, though. If he's still in position, it's going to be a dangerous little maneuver here. Looks like both the artillery facing, standing back to back and helping each other out, is able to find the E100 here, takes him out, and that leaves the Object 261. Ah, there we go. I was just going to say, I have no idea where this T110E4 is. He was last spotted up on the hill, but he's somehow gotten himself to the Allied base. Not quite sure how he's done that. That's going to leave the Conqueror gun carrier with the unenviable task of heading to the Allied cap circle in order to try and do something about that. Kill Engage deciding to go into the cap circle himself, because if this T92 and E75 both come into the cap, they can definitely out-cap the T110E4 and pick up the victory on this one. T92 having his shot on base and then looking like he's moving in towards the cap circle. E75 joins Kill Engage in the cap, and an excellent reset there from the Conqueror gun carrier, being able to reset on that T110E4, and then that is pretty much all she wrote, as he's not going to be able to outcamp the three people that are now in the cap circle. Kill Engage gets a little bit greedy there, pokes out for the Object 261, but now that the E75 and T92 have turned up in the cap circle, they're still going to have enough capping power to be able to outcap this T110E4. So Kill Engage decides to move out of the cap circle to go and try and take out the artillery, as he doesn't want the artillery player to survive. Looks like the Object 261 is where he was left. Flanks around to the side of him, takes him out, and then it's just going to be a case of allowing this base capture to wind down, and that's going to be the victory from base capture. So absolutely awesome game there from Kill Engage, picking himself up 5,500 points of damage, 5 kills, and really being instrumental in helping his team win that with some excellent positional play and some excellent flanking maneuvers. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a good replay, then please send that to replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, useful and informative, leave me a like, favourite and put a comment in the comment section below. Let me know exactly what you thought. And if you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.
Welcome everybody to World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name is Maxwell and today's first video is from the user Captain Thorback. That is Captain Thorback, and he's driving the M48 Patton on an assault battle on Corellia. M48 Patton being a tier 10 medium tank for the Americans, and this first replay is all about fantastic positioning, what you can do with that fantastic positioning, and how much chaos you are able to wrought upon the enemy team if they underestimate you and decide not to give you the attention that you deserve. So as you can see, Captain Thorback straight away going to be making a beeline across the center of the map, going to be trying to take up refuge in the dips in the terrain and behind these rocks here, and he gets himself into a great position. Does lose his track to a Leopard PTA that is behind him, but as you can see, he's paying more attention to the tanks that are in front of him at the moment, which is absolutely the right thing to do. As you can see, positions himself to use that rock there so that the Leopard 1 can't get shots on him. Once he's tucked himself in underneath the rocks here and he's got the cover of some allies, then he's going to turn his attention back to this Leopard PTA, because having that Leopard PTA there is going to ruin his day and ruin his chances of being able to do anything here. Gets a great first hit on that Leopard PTA there as he's running away. Looks like the Leopard PTA is continuing to move forwards. He is behind a rock there, so I'm not sure if Captain Thorback's going to be able to land anything else on him. Decides it's probably for the best to leave the Leopard PTA to some of his allies, as he's not able to get anything through the rocks. The AMX 1375 has moved up now as well, which is going to be great for Captain Thorback, as he's going to be providing fantastic spotting for him. As you can see, there's nobody in and around the cap circle. This is a high-tiered game, so most people have made their way to either the north or the south flank. Unfortunately, that's going to prove to be to the detriment of the enemy team here. You can see they really should have left one or two people back in order to deal with Captain Thorback, but everybody, I guess, just assumed that someone else was going to deal with the situation. Finds a Tiger 2, gets a great shot through his rear, decides to drop back because he has been spotted here. Although, like I said, there's nobody really in the area to deal with him. Does see the Leopard PTA. Leopard PTA is concentrating on whatever's in front of him. Thorback has a shot, but that one just about hits the rocks there. Going to be trying to line another one up. Can he hit him? He can indeed. Picks up kill number 1 early on against the Leopard PTA, trying to do exactly what he's doing here. T-34 not paying him any attention either. He's taken refuge behind a rock and looking up north, even though there are no targets to shoot at up north just yet. So Thorback's able to get a great bit of damage on him. T-34 still not paying attention to this location. He has now backed off and put himself behind a rock, so that's 1 point to him. Captain Thorback going to see if he can get a shot on anybody else. Could just about see the rear of that Tiger 2 there, but it was a bit of a risky shot, so didn't take that one on. And this is just playing absolutely into his hands here. The enemy team is deciding to circle around that rock there, and normally that is a great tactic and a great way to take the allied team here by surprise. Unfortunately for him, Thorback is here, and he's got fantastic shots on everybody that's there. Finds a Kneven, and again, the Kneven not paying him enough attention. Does finally take a hit from the Conqueror, but he's got this Kneven lined up now, who's still not paying attention. A little bit unfortunate they didn't take him completely out there, but the E75 just finishes him off. Now he's got to turn his attention to this T-34, which is still alive somehow with only 1 hit point left. He has a quick look at this Conqueror here, the only person who's paid him any attention, so it would be nice to get him eliminated and taken out of the battle, because everybody else seems blissfully unaware of his existence. Conqueror was looking at somebody else, doesn't know who to pay attention to. Captain Thorback just bounces that shot, which is a little bit unfortunate. This one should hopefully sail right through his armor. Does have to take that one blind, but he is able to take him out, picks out his target. No problem whatsoever. As you can see, not really wanting to waste a whole shell on 1 hit point of that T-34, so decides to fire out the Foch 155 instead. He does have a considerably larger cannon and had a little bit more hit points while still being a 1-shot, 1-kill. Moving across now, having a look at this E75. E75 still a tough target to crack. Unfortunately for the E75, he was looking the wrong way, had his full side turret pointed towards Captain Thorback, probably in his mind not really wanting to worry about shots coming from his own base. Does find a Rheinmetall here. Looks like the Rheinmetall maybe. Yes, it was indeed looking at him. Couldn't quite see which way his gun was pointing. The Rheinmetall was looking in this direction. He's backed off now behind a rock, but he hasn't backed off nearly far enough. Captain Thorbach's able to sneak another one through his gun shield. Rheinmetall pops himself back out, has a shot, does a little bit of damage, but again, backs off nowhere near far enough, and Captain Thorbach's just able to put another shot into him to take him out. That was his 6th kill now, and a well-deserved Top Gun medal. Now they can switch their attention to the left-hand side of the map, this southern flank. Captain Thorbach going to be making a move across there. Looks like there are still a few campers in the back. This one is all but won by the looks of it, 11 kills to 4. And again, these guys just not situationally aware whatsoever. If they've been paying any attention to their map at all, they'd know that they would have to start paying attention to this right-hand side here where Captain Thorbach is coming from. Unfortunately for them, not a single one of them paying attention to the map, and that just proves to be their undoing. Captain Thorbach is very quickly able to dispatch that Lover and that KV-4. Now he's going to move on to a full health E100. Got to play it carefully though with 880 hit points. If this E100 gets a high roll, he might be able to take him out with a single shot. Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure if he has the alpha damage. E100 fires. Captain Thorbach lands a great shot to take out his track and do some damage to him. You can see the E100 not even bothering to track his turret around because he knows he doesn't have the reverse speed. Puts himself behind the rock so he's taking damage from as few targets as possible. But this is just a foregone conclusion. It is like a gazelle being circled by patient leopards or tigers there, and they are able to take him out no problem whatsoever. And that was a fast and furious game from Captain Thorbach there, picking himself up 7.5, probably almost 8,000 damage. I'm sure he landed some hits in the fog of war there, and a mighty 8 kills, just showing you the power of fantastic positioning and what to do with that positioning once you have it, and how dangerous you can be if the enemy team doesn't pay you the attention that you deserve. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around because, as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay today is from the user Washington76. That is Washington76, and he's driving the Waffenträger Alf's E100 on a standard battle on the Arctic region. The Waffenträger is a tier 10 turreted tank destroyer for the Germans. And anybody who's followed the channel for any length of time knows that I don't tend to show tank destroyer or artillery replays all that often, and that's just down to the fact that they tend to be a bit campy and a little bit boring to watch, whilst also being technically brilliant. Users of replays like that normally do a lot of damage and do very well for their team, but like I said, normally not very interesting to watch. So obviously this one's going to be a little bit different, which is why I have elected to show it. It is a little bit slow to get started, but that's just down to the fact that the Waffenträger has about a 60-second reload. Just bear in mind that this is the previous patch, not the current patch, so it still has the 6 shells in the autoloader and still has the longer reload. I'm currently about a month behind on replays, so the one before this was sent in exactly a month ago to the day. Sent in the 12th of July. I'm not 100% sure about this one, but I would assume it was around about the same time. So currently about a month behind on replays, which is why if you send an awesome replay in, no matter how awesome it is, it's going to be at least 3 to 4 weeks before it gets featured on the channel, and that's just down to the fact that I've got so many replays being sent in every day now, which is awesome because you guys are great, but I'm probably going to have to set aside a whole weekend maybe just to watch replays for an entire day with a bag of popcorn or something. So as you can see, Washington advancing forward to help his platoon mate here. Has 2 shots at the T-54. 1 lands, 1 misses. A little bit unfortunate that one of those missed there, as he would have been able to take out that T-54. T-54 pops his head up again, but I don't really think he wants any of this. If he does, then he is a little bit foolish. Washington going to continue to advance forward. Still got 4 shells in the autoloader. Sees a second T-54 here through the bushes, but not really able to get much on him thanks to the rocks and the dips in the terrain there. Platoon mate in the IS-7 is faring pretty well. The T-54E1 with him not so much, but it looks like the enemy team hasn't concentrated very many forces on this southern flank. In fact, they haven't really concentrated in very many forces anywhere. Most of them appear to be in that northern area. So Washington 76 just figuring that he'll be able to get around the side of one of these tanks and maybe do some serious damage. That looks like an IS-7 and an IS-4 in there. Just paying attention to what is around this corner first. Keeping an eye on the tanks to the right. So if there's anybody up that little hill there, they'd be able to do some serious damage to him as he flanked around. As it is, there's nobody there. It's a little bit unfortunate. Gets one great hit. Take out the IS-4's track. Gets a second shot. Third lands on the IS-7. He's got to take one more. There we go. Gets away with 2,300 points of damage and only takes some tracking damage himself. Now he's got to back off and allow himself time to reload. He's going to spin himself all the way around so that he's pointing in the direction that he wants to run to. You can see the IS-4 took the 2 shots in the rear as impetus that he needs to start moving and has charged forward and charged down on the IS-7 now. And his ally in the other IS-7 not as optimistic about the situation, one might say. Not really wanting to get stuck in as much, but they both do decide to go forward now. You see the IS-4 proved to be pretty damn tough. He hasn't taken any damage from the IS-7. You can see now a Jagdpanzer E100 and T-28 prototype have now moved into the area as they realise that all that is here is a Waffenträger and that IS-7. They do have support in the form of this Object 704, but unfortunately, Washington is reloaded now. Gets a great shot through the side of the turret of the T-28 prototype. And I think Washington here just knows he's going to take a shot from this Jagdpanzer E100. But he has 2,000 hit points. So he's going to be able to soak that shot up and hopefully get some great damage back on the E100. Unfortunately, one of those bounced, but it looks like just one more shot. There we go. He's able to take out the Jagdpanzer E100. With only taking 1,200 damage in return. I say only, but that is a considerable amount of damage, but he has eliminated a tier 10 tank destroyer from the enemy team. So that is a fair trade. 1,200 of his hit points and his automatic fire extinguisher for eliminating their highest damage source on their team. Unfortunately, he couldn't save his platoon mate there, and he just got overrun by heavy tanks. And now Washington is trying to get the hell away before they crest over the top. The IS-4 that he hit in the rear earlier, who used that as a signal to start charging, is still alive. So he's done very, very well for himself, being able to survive that one and come out on top. Washington just taking cover here while he reloads that very long reload on the cannon. Having a quick look up the field here to see if there's anyone around. There is a T-57 Heavy in the south and a Waffenträger Auspanzer 4. So he's going to leave them to assault the IS-4 here. Gets a great hit on this E-50. Finishes him off. Now he's got some shots on this E-75. It looks like these guys in the north were proving to be a bit of a nuisance. Unfortunately, one of those on the E-75 was a critical hit and one of those missed. So not quite able to take out the E-75, but still able to do 1,100 points of damage to him for 7 and a bit thousand. So only got himself 2 kills, but 7 and a bit thousand damage is nothing to be sniffed at. Game is very, very even at the moment at 10 kills to 10. Looks like that T-57 Heavy and the Waffenträger Panzer 4 both been taken out by this IS-4. May have been getting helped out by the artillery, but if not, that guy's playing a pretty good game there. He got shot twice in the rear by our friend here, Washington 76, but he managed to survive. And he managed to push forward and eliminate all of the tanks that came against him. Washington does spot out the M103 here, but he's not loaded. M103 almost certainly has 6 sensors. He now backs off as he's spotted. Washington himself is spotted, but he is fully loaded now. Batchat 25 looks like he's trying to charge him down. The turret traverse on this thing isn't fantastic. He gets himself taken out by the E-50M, and that's pulled the Allied team ahead ever so slightly. They are now winning 12 kills to 11. Washington's deciding that he's going to spin himself around and come at the enemy from the southern flank. That M103 is in the north there, but they've overrun the north thanks to the help of Washington, taking out that E-50 and putting a significant amount of damage on that E-75. Looks like that M103 has made a beeline across the field here. Gets one good shot on him, and his artillery's coming in as well. Looks like everybody's trying to charge down on Washington here, but he's just saying nope. And nope, I'll take both of you guys out. Now I'll focus on the M103. 3 shells left in the chamber. Might be enough to take the M103 from what hit points he has left down to nothing. Just allows his track to repair itself because he doesn't have a repair kit. M103 comes charging around the corner. Gets a great shot to take his track out. Takes a hit from with 53 hit points left. And even with 53 hit points left, he had the damage. He had the reflexes to be able to eliminate the M103 for the victory and almost 10,000 points of damage. So awesome. Awesome replay there from Washington 76. Not panicking under pressure when he got closed in on by 3 tanks at the end there. Just eliminating them one after another in a cool and calm fashion. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that in to replay@screenreality.com. The link for that is in the description. Just send me the replay file or the link to the WoT Replay website in the email, and I'll check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, informative, you enjoyed it, or you learned something, think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.
Welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name, as always, is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Jacksters. That's Jacksters. No idea if that's how he prefers it pronounced, but that's what it looks like to me. And he's driving the A43 on a standard battle on the Tundra. A43 being a tier 6 medium tank for the Russians. So this one is pretty fast and furiously paced, so we're just going to get straight into the action. As you can see, the platoon here of the 3 medium tanks heading all the way over to the left-hand flank. You may recognise the name of Baby Wild there in the VK3002M. I'm fairly certain that I've featured one of his replays before. So the 3 of them are going to be heading over to the left-hand flank, which is where the medium tanks normally take to on this map, and they're going to be pushing all the way down. Taking a little bit of refuge behind these rocks, just allowing his allies to catch up a little bit. It looks like the other A43 is lagging behind a little bit. Maybe he wasn't quite on the same page with the plan. But these 2 medium tanks are just relentlessly pushing forward now. Takes a quick hit from an enemy A43 there. But he's able to get himself into cover behind some rocks here. And again, just going to wait for his allies to push up a little bit further. Except it looks like they have slowed down a little bit. But nope, going to come and offer some support now. So Jackster's going to take this opportunity to push a little bit farther up the hill. Looks like there isn't really any enemy tanks here at the moment. Only got this A43 here, but judging by his hit points, he's not fully upgraded because he's only got 660 hit points as opposed to Jackster's 730. Again, just allowing a little bit of time for his allies to come forward. Gets a good hit into the side of that A43 and another one as he pops himself out. Looks like the enemy A43 may have a better rate of fire, but Jackster's definitely has the penetration and the alpha damage on him. Takes out that guy and picks up kill number 1 pretty quickly. Artillery shells landing, but they're not doing a very good job of hitting anybody. And the allies here are going to be taking to the hill. Normally you do find some tank destroyers up here, but if you have a look at the enemy team, they're a little bit thin on the tank destroyer front. Does spot out a Panzer III here. He takes a shell from somewhere, but that one's not quite landed flush. Now it's going to be the opportunity to flank around behind them. So because the enemy team is pretty light on the old tank destroyers, they're not really coming up with much opposition here. Is having a few shots at this Panzer III here as he drives past. Sees that the Panzer III just definitely doesn't have the turret traverse to keep on target there, and Jackson's just able to take him out in short order. Baby Wild actually picked up that kill. Now they're going to square off against the Cheeto here. Jackster's heading to the left-hand side as Baby Wild comes in from the front. Cheeto deciding that he's not going to bother traversing his turret all the way around. In fact, Not even sure he knows what he's going to do. Can't decide who to shoot at, and in the end doesn't shoot at anybody and just gets himself taken out. So the Allies doing a great job so far of just overrunning the enemy team. Now going to be heading up to the hill at A0 and B0. Just going to see who they can find out. There was an Su-85 up there, so we're going to see if this guy is still up there. And like I said, normally you'd get a couple of tank destroyers and maybe a heavy tank camping in this location, but because there aren't many tank destroyers for the enemy team, then there really isn't anybody here. This Su-85's already taken off. At least he was somewhat situationally aware, realised that the flank was going to be overrun by medium tanks pretty quickly, so he just made off for the hill there, because the enemy team has at least handily won that battle on the hill. The score's pretty even at the moment at 6-7. Allies actually losing by 1 kill at the moment, but they really do have the positional advantage. The enemy team is on the hill, but I don't think they realise that there's tanks coming from behind them. This Su-85's dawdled around for just a little bit too long, and he gets set on fire and taken out now by Jacksters for kill number 3. And the rest of the enemy team is squaring off against the enemy, well, the allied team to the front of them, and don't even realise that there are medium tanks behind them. Jackson's just going to take all the time in the world to put shots into the rear of this Churchill 3, who is too busy shooting at the allied team to be able to get his gun on target to try and do some damage to Jacksters. Looks like he's just got his finger held down on the mouse button because he's just firing continually and not hitting anything. Now it's just going to be a case of trying to take out this Churchill 1. One more shot should be enough to take him out. Nope, that one bounces. Well, actually, that wasn't Jackster's shot. That was someone else's, and that's kill number 6. And there's just this Churchill Mark 7 left, but he is now getting flanked on all sides, and that is GG and the victory. So absolutely awesome game there from Jacksters and his platoon mates and the other medium tanks, just rushing the left-hand flank and then circling all the way around behind the enemy and catching them off guard for the victory. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because as always the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user, the QQ Moore. That's the QQ Moore, and he's driving the M103 on a standard battle on the fjords. M103 being a tier 9 heavy tank for the Americans. This thing leads straight on from the T32 and the T29, which are two pretty damn good heavy tanks. This thing's got pretty good frontal armor for its tier at about 200, and the angling on that is pretty damn nice, as you can see there. Unfortunately, the turret does have a huge weak spot, being the top of the turret there, the commander's hatch. Bit of a massive weak spot there, unfortunately. So this thing doesn't tend to be as safe as its counterparts, weirdly, but is still a pretty good heavy tank. So straight away, going to be heading to the centre of the map. You can see a lot of the allied team heading up that far right-hand flank there. Not something that you see very often, especially from IS-3s and Tiger 2s. Don't generally see them heading all the way up the right-hand side. The rest of the team kind of heading over on that southern flank towards the little fjord area there, the little dog leg. And that leaves the platoon mates here in the IS-8 and the M103 to guard off the centre. Nobody really shown their face around here. Does see a Foch there, so going to plant one through the side of him. Able to get a good bit of damage on him. Not quite able to take his track out, so he's still out in the open and fully functional. Although he does take a little bit more damage, and it may be time for that Foch to decide that discretion is the better part of valor as he gets taken out by the IS-8. Should have carried on running really and just done a quick little left turn and headed back down that hill, but as it is, he stayed up to valiantly fight, and he valiantly died. Takes a hit there from something, not sure whether that was artillery or there's another player camping on that right hand side. The IS-8 does a good job of also taking out the Centurion 1 there. Now they're going to sweep around and try and take out this IS-3, which is giving a little bit of hassle to the guys in the south there. As you can see, just coming around and planting one squarely in his face. Does take out his tracks, but QQ not going to waste a repair kit. He does have the reload and he's able to take out the IS-3 before he's able to get any damage onto that IS-8. Although the IS-8 is taking a hit from something. From the amount of damage that it's done, not really sure who that'll be. That may be the artillery focusing in on the area. Did have a quick shot at Jagdpanther 2 there, but not quite able to land that one, as could only see the very top of his turret. They have spotted the artillery on that far left-hand side. The battle in the south looks fairly even, so just got to keep an eye on that one so it doesn't run out of control. Nobody's really punished this artillery yet, even though he's been spotted for an age now. IS-8 does finally take him out after QQ landed a good hit through his roof there. Does spot a T-44 making a run for it, and then takes out the T-44 making a run for it. Does also see a T-25-2. I'm just going to close down on him, and his gun reloads just in time to take him out, although the T-25-2 I think overcompensated with his turret and body traverse there and just overshot the mark. Well, it looks like it may have been a good idea that the Allied team sent so many tanks up to that right-hand flank to the northern area, because it looks like the enemy team had also concentrated quite a lot of tanks in this area. WZ-131 spots out the M103 here and decides that he's just getting the hell out of there because there's no way he's going to duel with a tier 9 heavy tank. Got the support of the IS-8, but he's a little bit far out, so he's going to have to be careful with this ST-1 just about now. Doesn't want to take too much damage from him. T-30 gets a Jagdpanther 2 coming over the hill in an effort to try and take him out, but doesn't realise that the T-30 had support. And QQ takes him out after getting a beautiful shot to set him on fire, and that's kill number 4. This STI, or ST-1 if you prefer, isn't having any of their shit, and he comes around the corner. Fires off a shot. I'm not sure if he hit anybody there. Does take a hit in return, but it didn't do any damage. He's now shooting at the IS-8 as he's a much softer target than this M103. And QQ and the M103 going to use this opportunity to try and flank around the side of this ST-1. If he can get the ST-1 to turn his front armor onto himself, that's going to give side armor to the IS-8. And if he doesn't turn front armor onto the M103, then the M103 is going to punish him. Not that it was necessary, as he punishes him anyway. And that is the stragglers in the northern flank all dealt with now. So the enemy team did put enough tanks up here to win that battle in the first place, but it looks like the Allied team coming in from the south here, the guys who were guarding off the centre, came in just in time and did just enough to wear them down and take them out. Now it looks like that pretty even fight in the south has gone sour for the Allied team, and they've lost that one. You see they've got a T-71 capping and a Chi-Ri trying to battle with an AT-7. Now I was going to say that's not a fight he should be able to win, but he wins it fairly handily and fairly quickly indeed. And now there's just this T-30 and this Tiger 2 for the for the enemy team. Allies going to be closing in on them from all sides here. The Chi-Ri taking the long route around. QQ realising that he's not got the time to make a trip like that, not in a tank like this, so he's going to allow his ally, the IS-8, to hold their attention from the front. Still got a good hit point pool at 1,200 hit points there, so he's going to allow them to hold their attention as he comes around the back and plants a great shot into the back of the Tiger 2. Doesn't fall back into cover because he knows that number 1, he's got the Chi-Ri in the rear for support, and number 2, he had more than enough hit points to just take a hit if necessary, and as it is, he's able to clear up the T-30 in the end there and pick up a well-deserved kill number 6 and a Top Gun medal. So that was 5,500 points of damage, 6 kills, Top Gun medal, and a great game there from the platoon, the Allied platoon. So awesome replay there from QQ Moore. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that in to replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just found it entertaining, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and leave me a like or comment. This has been World of Tanks. My name has been Maxwell, and I will catch you guys next time. Welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Immortality Prince. That's Immortality Prince, and he's driving the M103 on a standard battle on Karelia. M103 been a tier 9 heavy tank for the Americans. So just a quick word to anybody who has sent in replays for the subscriber replay videos. I am tremendously behind at the moment. I still have about 80 replays in my replay folder that I haven't watched yet, about a dozen that I haven't made videos on yet that I want to make videos on, and I still have 90 unread emails, and God knows how many of those will have multiple replays in each one. So I think Immortality Prince, if he wants to take to the comment section, just let you guys know how long ago he sent this replay in and how long it's taken for it to actually get made into a replay. That should give you some idea about how far behind I am currently. So, onto this replay at hand. Immortality Prince is going to be taken to the right-hand flank, which is where normal good heavy tanks will go, and deciding to take to the hill. Got quite a lot of support here. You can see there, got a few Tigers in the valley there of Ferdinand, and who is that? That looks like a Waffenträger there as well to square off against the enemy force. As you can see here, spots out a Tiger 2 who's just way too far forward, and that's a little bit unfortunate there to get a critical hit, but then I suppose he did have elite hit points, so scoring a critical hit is probably the best he could have hoped for. So not having a fantastic start to this, scored 2 critical hits for 2 shots so far, deciding that his allies have probably pretty much got the battle in the valley sorted there. You can see the heavy tanks all squaring off against each other. There's nobody really for Immortality Prince to shoot at, so instead decides to head up to the hill to see who he can pick off there. Finds a Waffenträger, gets a fantastic shot on him at that range. That's almost 600 meters there, and picks up a nice chunk of damage on him. Finds a T-28 prototype. Gonna have to be careful with this one. T-28 can be a difficult creature to damage. Another shot did fly in there, so not really sure whether that was Immortality Prince or the other shot. I guess we'll find out if this one is damaging, but T-28 prototype doing a fantastic job of angling his front armor there, and that shot just bounces. Immortality Prince going to take his time, trying to aim in on this weak spot here. He's got a 1 second left on his reload, takes his shot and picks up kill number 1 there. His allies still holding off pretty well in the south, so he's just going to offer some aid to this left-hand flank, which is more northern, really, with the shape of this map. Not really able to get anything on that Tiger 2 there, doing a great job of keeping himself shielded. Going to move forward and try and get into render range of that Waffenträger, but instead finds a Black Prince here. Being sneaky in the swamp there. Does a good shot of getting damage on him and then backs off just in case anybody's looking this direction and is able to get damage back onto him. Gets another good shot through the side of this Black Prince here. I don't think this Black Prince realizes how much trouble he's in now. Starts to make a run for it. Going to try and get into cover. Well, Black Prince puts one right through the top of his engine deck there and picks up kill number 2. So decides now to drop down off the side of the mountain. As you can see, there's a T-44 just done the same thing. I'm not sure whether he managed to sneak his way to the top of the hill somehow or managed to skirt around the side here. My thinking is he probably skirted around the side there. Going to try and maybe head down and pick him off. Immortality Prince driving back towards his base here. Finds the T-44. Ooh, has a shot on the move there, but not quite able to get a hit on him as he was sort of half hidden behind the rocks there. But this T-44 is going to have a horrid time trying to get in on the base as he's getting sniped down by that by those camping tank destroyers there. So not really much this T-44 is going to be able to achieve. I should think that he's probably going to end up dead any minute now, and there he goes. Immortality Prince decides to switch his attention back to that northern flank. Still can't get anything on that Tiger 2, playing it very cagey up there. So decides to spin himself around and maybe work at the enemy from the rear. Going to move up as the fight in the valley on that left-hand side, on that right-hand side, sorry, hasn't gone very well at all. So Immortality Prince playing a little bit of indecision here. Not really sure which direction he should be taking right now. Decides to go the safe route and head back down towards his own base and head around that way. As if he'd headed up around the north there, he's not sure. He probably would have taken some shots from that Ferdinand and that Waffenträger. But as it is, the battle in the south there hasn't gone very well. The teams were fairly evenly matched down there, tank-wise. Perhaps not skill-wise, but it looks like the Allied team has just kind of rolled over there and allowed the enemy team to push through. So Immortality Prince is going to drop back and see if he can try and equal the score. But it looks like their last defender, the Tiger P, has fallen. Just looking at the chat there and looking at the Type 59 calling Immortality Prince a noob. And he is really going to have to eat those words in a minute. As Immortality Prince comes steaming in and takes out that Tiger 2, brutally just charging him down, getting a shot straight through the front of him and taking him out now. And he's got this ISU, Caernarvon and a T30 to contend with now somewhere around here. It looks like most of them have either dropped back towards the base or headed up towards this hill here. Does find the Caernarvon here. T30 looks like he's down on the other side. Gets the good spotting on the Caernarvon as the FV207 comes in, takes him out. So nice work by the artillery there. Game's exactly even at the moment at 10 kills to 10. Both sides just trying to find any piece of advantage that they can. That ISU shows up right in the Allied base here, so he's going to be pushing in and trying to take out the artillery perhaps. Immortality Prince is going to try and get a shot through his rear, which indeed he does, and gets a nice high roll on that one. It looks like he's going to get picked off by the rest of the tank destroyers. In fact, if Immortality Prince can reload in time, indeed he can, and he picks up kill number 4 now. And this T30 is somewhere down below here. And indeed, there he is there. And Immortality Prince, if he's loaded, should be able to get one right through the side of his turret and then back off. Just get himself into a nice hold-down position and only present his turret for the T30 to shoot at. This T30 is really just caught between a rock and a hard place. He can't push forwards or backwards. He's got to keep this rock on his right-hand side, or else the Allied tank destroyers are just going to make short work of him. And as it is, Immortality Prince is going to get one more shot through the top of his turret, and he's going to make short work of him. And that's kill number 5. And that just leaves the artillery, a Waffenträger, and a Ferdinand left. The Allied team doing a great job of just getting the nose ahead in this game, but it's not over yet, not by a long shot. The artillery turns up on the hill for some reason. Not really sure why this guy is here. Immortality Prince is going to try and charge him down. I'm not sure if that was his shot. I think that was somebody else's shot landing on the ground. So this M4043 may still be loaded, so Immortality Prince is going to have to play it carefully. He doesn't know whether he's just going to get derped in the face for his trouble, but it looks like the M40 may have fired as he had his gun totally off target there as he was backing off, and Immortality Prince picks up kill number 6 and a well-deserved Top Gun medal. And that just leaves the Waffenträger and this Ferdinand now to contend with. But again, still, it might be 13 kills to 11, but this is not by far a foregone conclusion. Allied team only got that Jagdtiger 88 and that Panzer Soufflé, but they also have artillery. I would say that the enemy team actually has the gun advantage at the moment. So we're going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action. All 3 tanks are going to be closing in on the enemy position up towards the base here. They want to all move in together. The Waffenträger and Ferdinand were last spotted on that left-hand side. So Immortality Prince not going to waste his time going up that right-hand side. He's going to go up the centre, as this is technically the long way around. If that Panzer Soufflé 5 can hold their attention, the Jagdtiger 88 and himself come up from the side here. Hopefully they can get some spots on somebody. And that Ferdinand looks like he's camping way in the back there. Still got full hit points. And hiding super far back in that bush there. I'm not really sure what he thought he was going to achieve. To be honest, should have been a lot further forward so that he could have spotted some of the Allied tanks here coming in. Waffenträger also camping really far back. If these guys had pushed up to the rock line, they could have had 1 or 2 shots at the Allied team as they came in, and then could have backed off behind the base, and then could have had another shot at them again. But as it was, their fear and their inexperience forced them back further than they needed to be. What they, like I said, they really should have done is advance to the rock line, had some shots at the Allies as they came in, and then dropped back to the positions that they were in, softened them up as they came in. But as it is, the Allied team just able to run roughshod all over them here, take them out. Very unfortunate there to bounce his shot across the top. Actually, I think that one missed in all of the excitement. But as it is, it's still GG and the victory for the Allied team. Immortality Prince picking himself up 6 kills and at least 5,000 points of damage there. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Kier. Still no idea how to pronounce this one. Kier. And he's driving the E50 on a standard battle on Winter Himmelsdorf. E50 being a tier 9 medium tank for the Germans. Platooned up with ISG Cetus there. I'm not sure if I've shown exactly one of his replays before, or whether he's just been platooned with Kira before, but I do recognise that name. Now anyway, onto the replay. The two medium tanks are going to be heading straight up the left-hand side, up the train tracks. Here you can see they've got that Scout ELC AMX ahead of them on that far left-hand side here, so, and that T21 on their right. They're all going to make a very quick push, and that's it. They actually spot out both of the enemy artillery very quickly here. Both of the M40-43s, and if them M40s aren't careful, they're going to get themselves taken out very, very quickly. Yeah, artillery's made a quick push to the left-hand side here, but they don't really have the support of their allies. One of them starts to make a run, but he gets himself taken out, and that's Kira's first kill. Now got to play it carefully though, because they do have some tank destroyers in front of them. But looking at it, it's only that SU-101 and that Jagdpanther, so both of those two guys not going to have a very easy time up against an Object 432 and an E50. So I think the Allied platoon here has realised this, and they're just going to push in here. The second artillery piece shows himself is found and not hidden well enough, and he gets taken out, and that's Kira's second kill now. Going to push around. The enemy team starting to put more tanks on this flank now. You can see the Tiger P and that KV-5 now. Doesn't quite get any damage on that Jagdpanther there, which is a little bit unfortunate. That thing not really well known for its armor protection. The Tiger P is, but he still managed to get some damage on him, and now he's going to advance forward with the help of this T69 on his right hand side here, getting some shots on the rear of this SU-101, and Kier's able to get the killing blow on him, and they're now going to push up against the medium tanks here. Well, this KV-5 Tiger P and this Jagdpanther all kind of huddled together in this square here. You can just about see the weak spot of the KV-5 here, but I think the KV-5 realised it, so he reverses, which exposes his ally there in the Tiger P, who gets himself taken out, and then the T-34 takes out the Jagdpanther. And this KV-5 is now just caught between a rock and a hard place. There's nothing really he can do. He's got an Object 430 on one side and an E50 on the other, and his gun isn't particularly fantastic, and everybody can just see his weak spots here, and they just whittle him down and take him out there. T-34 picks up the kill on him in the end, and that is the battle for the northern left-hand flank all won now. But as you can see, the Allied team have made a bit of a gamble here. They've so handily won the left-hand flank only because they concentrated the vast majority of their forces here and totally left the hill and their base completely undefended. So Kira and ISG are going to have to drop back now and see if they can do something about maybe taking out the enemy team, which are almost certainly going to take advantage of this situation and move some people down off the hill towards the base. As you can see, there is a T-95 and an E-75 defending the enemy base there. Everybody just kind of huddling up against the buildings there in an effort to try and take them out. Nobody really coming down to have a look at their own base, and this could prove to be their detriment. But it looks like nobody's quite made it here yet. Everybody not quite coming down off the hill. Kira just having a little poke out to see if he can see anybody. Doesn't look like anybody's made it this far yet. So we're going to continue to push forward. Maybe nobody is coming down off the hill, and then maybe catch everybody from the rear and catch them by surprise. See this IS-3 and a T-34, but there we go. There's a Leopard PTA, still on 100% hit points. Gets a great shot through his front there. The Leopard tries to sneak around the side, so you just do what you do best in an E50, which is ram the bugger. Gets a good bit of damage and takes his track out, able to take another big hit on him. This just comes down to punching each other in the face till one of them falls over. Then the Leopard PTA is almost certainly going to fall over first, and indeed he does, and leaves Kira with 405 hit points there. Did set him on fire in the middle of that one there, but the premium fire extinguisher just dealing with that situation very, very quickly. So last spotted there was a T-34 coming in from this way. He's got to be careful because the alpha damage on that T-34 is kind of maybe enough to take him out, but the T-34 gets caught short there, has his shot and just fluffs it into the dirt. Kira thinks he may have the reload on this T-34, so just keeps himself out in the open, able to get a good hit on him there, and he's in a fantastic side-scraping position at the moment. This T-34's really got no chance as he just bounces that one and gets himself taken out. He was caught in the middle of nowhere there with no cover, nowhere to go, and Kira just was set up in a fantastic side-scraping position, and he takes him out and picks up kill number 6 and 4,500 points of damage along with the victory. So absolutely awesome replay there from Kira. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that to replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, useful, you learned something, or you just found it entertaining and you enjoyed it, then please consider hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel, and you definitely going to want to see all that. Don't forget to leave me a like and stick a comment in the comment section below, letting me know exactly what you thought. This has been World of Tanks. I have been Maxwell, and I will catch you guys next time.